Imagine touching a baking tray that is much hotter than you expected. Your hand snaps back, your shoulder rises, maybe your whole body recoils, and only then do you clearly think, that hurt. It feels as if your body moved before you knew anything was wrong. Did your spinal cord make a decision without your brain? And if you had not felt pain yet, what made you move? Your nervous system does not deal with danger in one long line. It runs protective processes in parallel, moving you away, creating conscious pain, and sometimes preparing your body before contact even occurs. First, we need to clear up the word flinch. You may blink when something approaches your eye, jump at a sudden bang, tense before an injection, or pull your foot away from something sharp. These movements look similar, but they do not all use the same circuit. The hot tray and sharp object can trigger the nociceptive withdrawal reflex, a rapid, automatic movement that reduces contact with a potentially damaging stimulus. It begins with specialized sensory endings called nociceptors. They respond when heat, pressure, chemicals, or other conditions threaten tissue. But nociceptors are not tiny pain buttons. They perform nociception, the nervous system's process of encoding a possible threat. Pain is the unpleasant sensory and emotional experience that may follow. Nociception and pain are closely connected, but they are not identical. That distinction is the key to this story. When nociceptors in your hand are activated, electrical signals travel along sensory nerves to the spinal cord. There, the information does not simply continue along one road to the brain. It reaches a junction. Networks of spinal interneurons can immediately begin organizing a protective movement. Motor neurons activate muscles that pull the limb away, while opposing muscles are inhibited, so they do not fight the movement. This is not one sensor connected to one muscle. The withdrawal reflex is polysynaptic, meaning several connections help coordinate the response, and it can be surprisingly sophisticated. If you step on something sharp, lifting that foot is only half the problem. Removing one leg could make you fall. Spinal circuits can flex the threatened leg while helping the opposite leg extend and support your weight. This is called the crossed extension response. The nervous system is not merely shouting, move. It is organizing which muscles contract, which relax, and how the body remains stable. The pattern can even vary with the threat's location and the phase of your movement. The spinal cord is producing a fast, practical answer. How can I get this body part away without creating another problem? While that protective circuit is working, signals are also traveling upward. They pass through the spinal cord toward the brainstem and thalamus, then into brain regions that help locate the threat, judge its intensity, give it emotional importance, and create the experience we call pain. There is no single pain center that simply switches on. Pain emerges from a distributed system influenced by attention, expectation, context, and experience. This is why saying pain travels to the brain is useful shorthand, but incomplete. Nociceptive information travels. Pain is the experience produced as the nervous system interprets what that information means for you. The protective movement does not need to wait for that entire interpretation. In human experiments, electrical activity from withdrawal reflexes is often recorded in muscles at around 1/10 of a second after stimulation, although timing varies. Conscious awareness also develops quickly, so the two processes can overlap. It would be misleading to say the reflex always finishes before pain begins. You may feel a sharp sensation almost immediately. The important point is that the motor command can begin without waiting for a conscious decision. Your spinal cord is not replacing your brain. Different parts of your nervous system are processing the event in parallel. A painful event may also seem to arrive in stages because signals travel along different nerve fibers. Thin, myelinated A-delta fibers conduct relatively quickly and are commonly associated with a sharp, well-localized first pain. Slower, unmyelinated C fibers are often associated with a duller, burning, or aching second pain. Touch something hot, and you may recognize the sequence: a quick, sharp warning, followed by a slower sensation that lingers after your hand is safe. The withdrawal limits exposure. Continuing pain encourages you to inspect the area, protect it, remember what happened, and avoid repeating the mistake. But what about flinching before you are touched? Imagine someone pretending to flick your forehead. You blink, tense, and pull away, even if their finger stops short. That is not a nociceptive withdrawal reflex, because nothing harmful activated nociceptors in your forehead. It is predictive defense. Your brain learns that certain sights, sounds, and situations may signal an approaching threat. Expectation can prepare the motor system, change muscle activity and attention, and strengthen startle responses. Your brain does not always wait for danger to arrive. It uses experience to make an educated guess. Usually that is useful. Moving unnecessarily costs little. Failing to move when a threat is real could cost much more. An occasional false alarm is a reasonable price for a fast warning system. This also explains why catching a dropped ruler measures reaction time, not the withdrawal reflex. And the familiar knee jerk is a different, simpler stretch reflex. Pulling away from harm requires a coordinated protective circuit. They may all be fast, but they are not interchangeable. So, what happened when you flinched? Harmful contact can trigger withdrawal. A sudden sound or movement can trigger startle. And expected pain can trigger predictive defense. So why can your body flinch before you feel pain? because detection, movement, and conscious experience are connected, but separate. Your nervous system can detect potential danger and launch a protective movement before you consciously understand what happened. At the same time, signals race upward as the brain builds the experience of pain, and when danger is only expected, the brain may prepare your body before contact occurs. Your body did not move before your nervous system noticed the danger. It moved before the conscious narrator in your head finished the sentence. The next time your hand jumps away from something hot, give your spinal cord a little credit. It did not stop to explain the situation. It simply decided the explanation could wait.